Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are driving back from Minnesota. We were up in Wabasha, Minnesota on the Mississippi River to fish a tournament, but it was way more than just fishing a tournament. Of course, you know, I haven't fished any other tournaments this year. It's been all hands on deck, just focusing on my family as my daughter Riley goes through cancer treatments at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So really, I haven't had the inclination to fish any tournaments, but when I found out about the Dick Hiley Bass Classic, I knew that I had to be involved because it is a tournament. It not just a tournament, it is the tournament to benefit St. Jude's. And they raised over $852,000 this year alone, and over $7.6 million over the years that they've had this tournament. And man, I got to tell you, I'm pretty ashamed that I didn't know more about the Dick Hiley Bass Classic prior to this year, prior to me, you know, actually being in the trenches with a child with childhood cancer. And you know, now that I've participated in this event, and it really is way more than a fishing tournament, you know, before you participate in the Dick Hiley Bass Classic, you just kind of think it's another fishing tournament, but it's way more than that. And so I wanted to get on here today for this video and really talk about my experience with this tournament that is just doing incredible, amazing things to benefit you know, children with cancer and their families, and which is a topic that, I mean, just gets me choked up. But you know, first off, let's talk about the amazing fishing on the Mississippi River. Let's kind of do just a recap real quick of you know, the fishing this week. You know, it's a team tournament, and so I paired up with my buddy Scott Kinninger. Scott is actually the brother-in-law of Matt Steffen, you know, my good pal on tour, and I've known Scott because I've stayed at his house, and we've hung out, you know, the two times that I came up to La Crosse to fish pools 7, 8, and 9 on the Mississippi River. And Scott and I have always just hit it off, and so you know, Matt was real busy at the time, and I immediately was just like, man, I gotta ask Scott if he wants to fish it. So we went out. I only got to come up the day before the final day of practice. So we got out on Friday, and it was like super foggy. So we were socked in the fog. We really didn't get to fish much until like 9 o'clock in the morning. And we finally got out and were able to find, you know, 2 decent areas before 1 o'clock. So what is that? It's like 4 hours, 4.5 hours of fishing time, you know, which is not much at all. If you fish the river, you know that if you don't know certain areas, you know, you have to like idle everything and just figure out how to navigate it. It's not just like running into a creek, you know, testing it real quick and then running out. So we were fortunate enough to find 2 areas we felt confident had a good number of fish in them. And so, you know, we started the tournament down in one of them and absolutely had a blast. We just really crushed them. We had a great time, ended up finding a bunch of smallmouth on the beds. There was a bunch of largemouth too, but we couldn't catch them. They just were not biting. They're so skittish. And so we caught a bunch of smallmouth. Then we had our second area, caught like, you know, 1 more keeper, or, you know, 2 more that helped our cause. And we ended up the first day with 20.5 pounds. Phenomenal day, had a great time. And so it felt really good to get back out on the water and compete. And then the second day, yesterday, was a lot tougher. You know, obviously the bed fishing in the area that we started in, there were several other boats that ended up finishing way up in the top, and they were also in there. So we pretty much scorched earth in that spawning area, and so there really wasn't anything left as far as spawning smallmouth, which were the only ones that I found were receptive to bed fishing. And so anyways, only caught like a 3.5 pounder in there, and then really struggled because, you know, it was really frustrating. Had so many big largemouth on the bed, and just could not get them to bite, you know, and they were locked on too. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So we only brought in 4 fish yesterday, but like I said at the beginning of this video, it was not about the fishing, okay? The fishing was like an added bonus, but let's talk about the Dick Hiley Bass Classic and what it's all about, and why I want everybody out there to know about it, so that you can participate in some way, whether you come up and fish it or you want to donate to help the cause, because everything goes to St. Jude. It's not going to run in the tournament or anything like that. It goes to St. Jude, you know, and to help children like my little daughter Riley. So anyways, I got up here. The first thing that happened was we you know, I was invited to hang out with a lot of the guys that were fishing the tournament. My buddy Ross was there, and I got to meet some of the folks behind, you know, the fundraising for St. Jude, Gretchen, Katie, and several other ladies that were there, and several other people, and we just had a great time. We even ate beaver. We had beaver nuggets, like not from like Buc-ee's, not like the corn nuggets from Buc-ee's, but like legit trapped beaver, deep fried. It was incredible. I mean, it was some of the best wild game I've ever had ever. So that was like my introduction to this whole Midwestern experience that we had this week. And we just had a great time, great camaraderie that first night. And then it just kept on building from there. The next day, you know, everybody is invited to a dinner. And so everybody in the tournament went to this dinner. They had some wonderful food. It was like a make your own taco type thing, but it was incredible, like on point. You know, and we got to hang out, drink some cold beverages, and just meet everybody. And everybody there, you could feel right away this isn't just like a regular tournament, you know, where everybody's just focused on the fishing. There was an air in this room that was very different. It was almost like, you know, back in the old days when I used to be part of the Chico and Paradise Bass Clubs back in California, where, you know, these guys were not just, you know, there for a tournament. They were a community. They were there for a purpose. And the camaraderie there was incredible. I met so many people that have been following our story, and got to talk to some great dudes. I never met a guy at this tournament this week that I didn't like talking to. So that dinner was amazing. And then, of course, we have the tournament. Let me tell you about how well they put this tournament together. So we get there in the morning. They have people, you know, helping us with the whole process. They've got a real unique way of you know, doing the boat order and all that stuff, but it works out just perfect. And they had all the stages and everything lined up, and then they also had breakfast ready for everybody. They had, like, I live in the South, okay, but they had the best breakfast sandwiches and like biscuits and gravy that I've ever had before. And then they had these like raspberry turnovers that Scott, my partner in the tournament, went crazy for. In fact, he got 2 yesterday, and I saw him there on the front of the deck in the morning, and I was like, oh, what a great guy. He got me a pastry for you know, the day. That's awesome, man. So I didn't go up and get my pastry. I found out he got both of those pastries for himself. But they were incredible. I ended up getting one of them because I kind of guilted him into it. But so they had all that stuff. They had just great coffee and all that. So they were like rolling out the red carpet for everybody at the beginning of the day. We blast off. And one special thing that Matt Pangrak with BTL told me about was the way that they blast you off. They've got a guy that is a mainstay for the Dick Hiley Bass Classic that essentially just yells go. When you're cleared to blast off, he screams go in a way that you know it's coming, because you saw him scream it to every other boat in front of you. But when he does it to you, you almost feel like you're doing something wrong, like somebody's yelling at you from the shoreline. It kind of like gets your heart rate up, you know. But it was really, really cool. And Matt told me about it. He warned me. He's just like, man, this is the coolest blast off you'll be part of. So we go fish, and then we come back. Fat Cat Newton is emceeing the event. They've got food there. They've got vendors that are handing out stuff. Wenzel Farms had a bunch of, you know, meat sticks there. You know, there were several other companies that were you know, there, you know, present at the event. And of course, you know, the weigh-in went super smooth. I mean, incredible how well they're putting this tournament on. And then they had, you know, food trucks there and all that stuff. So really cool event. I shared my story on stage, or a little bit of my story on stage, which was really special. And honestly, I just could not keep the tears away while telling it. But then that evening, after that weigh-in, they had the banquet. And let me tell you, this is where things really started to hit home for me. This banquet, of course, they had you know, a bar, and they had just amazing catered food. The whole event was talking about the stories of St. Jude children, what the purpose of this event truly is. And, you know, and we talked about how much everybody raised. There were awards brought out. But what really made it special is they talked about, you know, my daughter and a couple other people that were there that had their children go to St. Jude. And there was also a family, Chris and Christy, their son, who passed away from childhood cancer, that went to St. Jude. They shared their story, and it was absolutely touching. Not a dry eye. I'm misting up right now talking about it. Not a dry eye in that room. And you could just feel how incredibly invested everyone was at that banquet, and the sense of pride that they were able to raise so much money this year and previous years. And I mean, like I said, they raised over $852,000. Our team, Scott and I, we raised $6,700. We're looking to blow that out of the water for next year. And then the 26 years of the tournament running, they've raised over $7.6 million for St. Jude. So it was just incredibly touching, and it was just I was blown away that I haven't heard more about it. Of course, Matt Pangrak has been doing a great job spreading the word on Bass Talk Live, but I'm going to take it upon myself, and when I say I'm talking about my family as a whole. I'm going to take it upon myself to really do whatever I can to raise awareness and raise funds for this tournament every year. And when I say raising it for this tournament, it all goes to St. Jude. So, but that's where I want the money to kind of, that's where I want my my efforts to go. I think everybody at some point in their life, or at least most people, they find something that is something that gives them purpose, and it's something that they can invest themselves in to help other people. And I think that I've been living my life in a fairly selfish manner over the years because I just haven't had that. But obviously, since my family's been at St. Jude, that is something that's very important to me. And so I feel like I've found a little bit of purpose beyond, my own aspirations. So, and this event did that for me. It may sound silly that a fishing tournament did that for me, but it really did. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody that was at that tournament. Gretchen, Katie, everybody that was there working the event. I just want to say it was an honor to meet Chris and Christy and hear their story. And also just want to, Matt, Stefan, and Sarah, his wife Sarah, came in and supported us, and we had a great time. So it was just a phenomenal weekend. Everybody that fished that, all my new friends that I made at that tournament, man, I could not thank you guys enough. It was such a great escape from what we're going through in Memphis right now, but also a very important reminder that there's ways that I can help and that you can help as well. We're going to be doing a lot of things on this channel from here on out that are to benefit St. Jude through the Dick Hiley Bass Classic, and I just want to include you guys. I want you guys to be invested in this cause as well. We do a lot of content on this channel. I talk about a lot of tips and tricks, and one of the things that I do in each video is kind of share the ways that you can help make this channel better, to support the channel, and this is going to be one of them. And we're going to do some things. I've already got some ideas on fundraising, endeavors. We're going to be doing some Trust the Process swag, some hats, and we're going to be doing some really cool things on social media with those. I want you, my viewers, to be invested in this cause and to be able to participate in it, even if you can't actually fish the tournament up here on the Mississippi River. So anyways, guys, I know this isn't a regular fishing tournament, but I wanted to give you a recap on, what happened this week and how special it was. And yeah, that's it, man. And, even though I had a great time up there, I'm really, really excited to get back to my ladies in Memphis at St. Jude. I miss little Riley, and of course I miss my wife, Katie. And so we got a long ride ahead of us, but I wanted to get on here and tell you guys all about it. Really special. So anyways, guys, we've got a lot of cool things on the horizon here. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, keep up with all the videos coming out, and always trust the process.